Hi guys, welcome back to Hilltop Farm, and today we're going to be making apricot jam. Now what you're going to need for this recipe, it's very simple, is I've got 2.5 kilograms of apricots, obviously sliced and with the stones removed. Okay, now these here, as you can see, are very ripe indeed. But you can do it with, you know, when they're only just barely ripe, and it turns out just as well. It's a great recipe, very basic. So there's that. We have sugar, 2.5 kilos. It's the same quantity as your fruit. And yes, you guessed it, it's our homemade organic pectin that we made a few weeks ago. That's going to go in it to act as the pectin. That's all you're going to need. So easy. Okay, I'm going to start by putting in the pectin. You can see there, it's syrupy. Beautiful, smells like apple. And I'm just going to pop in the first 500 grams of sugar, just to get it started. It won't be long, and the natural juices will begin to flow. Very important with jam that you watch it, you don't leave it, you don't let it catch, because as soon as it does, it's spoilt and it's awful. Anyway, once this heats up a bit more, I'll add the rest of the sugar, and I'll be back to show you that. Now the juices are starting to run here, so I think I can get away with putting the rest of this in. Always seems like such a lot of sugar, doesn't it? And it always just disappears into nothing. What a potentially messy procedure. And I know you're all thinking the same thing. You should have used a larger pot. But you would be wrong. Because this is the same pot I use every time, and every time I think the same thing: is it going to all fit? It's like making sand castles, isn't it? Now, slowly mix it through so that it dissolves. I'll tell you what else I'm going to make for you at some point is out of my apricot jam, I make the most beautiful apricot glaze for chicken. That really lovely. Can turn just an ordinary either chicken fillets or you know, piece of chicken drumstick, or even a roast chicken. Can transform it from being quite a boring, ordinary piece of meat into something really tasty and spectacular. So that I'll have to make a note of to make for you. I'm sorry that actually all the start of videos on the channel are all to do with pickling and jams and sauces, but it's the time of year, you see. It's everything's ripening on trees, and we're having to can and preserve and bottle, and because later on in the year, when all that stops, I'll actually be able to start showing you what you can actually do with some of these things. But in the meantime, we must press on. So I will be back when this is looking a bit more like jam and a bit less like syrup with bits of fruit floating in it. And we're back. And seriously, the smell of these apricots is just divine. Absolutely divine. Oh. Now, always important whenever you're going to cook anything for any length of time, or especially anything like this that's got a very high sugar content, heavy based pans, you have to. Otherwise you're wasting your time. It will just burn and ruin. So always heavy based pans. And people say to me, you know, oh, you know, I don't have enough fruit to make my own jam. Well, you don't really have to. You could just buy, when it's in season, buy a couple of kilos of your favourite fruit, whether it be apricot, strawberry, plum, whatever it happens to be, and make it. Because, I mean, realistically, this is, I'm only guessing here, but this would probably be, I'm guessing, 8 to 12 pints, somewhere in that range. We'll see when we can it. But, you know, a small quantity of apricots makes an awful lot of jam. You'll have plenty to give to your family and friends. And realistically, how many jars of this apricot jam is your family going to use in 1 year? And if you're like me, you've got strawberry jam and blackberry jam and apricot jam, plum jam. You only really need a couple of jars of each to get you through the year. But we've always got extra, and we can always give it away. But anyway, this, my friends, is what it should look like. I know it's quite dark. It's not normally this dark. And first impression when I saw it was, oh my goodness, it has burnt. It actually hasn't. I think it's because I had very ripe fruit to start with that it's gone this colour. But it smells absolutely beautiful. That, my friends, is how we make beautiful apricot jam. If you like this video, click the like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss any more of our videos. Coming up, the next video I'll be showing you how to can this, which will be in a water bath canner. And thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!